Okay, so I'm hopping on here real quick just to get an intro going. Family and I are about to go on a walk, and it's such a beautiful day outside right now. Anyways, on this film, we're going to be taking some thrifted finds and flipping them. So if this is your first time to my channel, my name is Ashley, and I take thrifted items and I flip them. So today we're flipping 2 breadboards, and I think they're called Carpenter boxes, and we're going to make them look beautiful. So y'all keep watching, and I'll see y'all at the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoy it. Bye. Okay, so here I'm just using that Durham water putty. I've already used it a couple of times and I love it. This stuff is awesome. So I'm just filling in parts on these pieces, the breadboard and this box. This stuff is going to dry solid so that I can go back in and sand it down. So once this dries, I am going to sand. And like I said, this stuff dries super solid, so you can sand it down to a smooth surface. I should have put a little bit more on both of these pieces, but this was my first time to do such a big area. So I'm learning in that part of it, but it worked out great for what I needed it, and I loved the end product. On this next part, I'm setting up because I was going to show y'all me hand painting these pieces with chalk paint, but my video messed up and I didn't get that in here. So the pieces are hand painted with chalk paint, and then here I'm just spray painting the inside of this box just to get good coverage. Okay, so what I'm about to do is get on my computer and I'm going to print off a thing that we're going to decoupage on the front of both of these pieces. Work on my computer and see what we can find. So, what do I want though? This is the hard part. Oh, that might be kind of cute. I ended up just going into Word and typing out what I wanted and printing it off that way. So here I'm just prepping the piece, getting it taped together, and I printed it to the size that I wanted so that it would fit all the way across. And I'm just going to make sure that it gets centered and looks good. I went to Hobby Lobby because I was trying to think, I wanted more than just the wording on there. So I was trying to think of some backing to put with it. And I found this paper, but I ended up actually not wanting this. I'll probably use it on a different project. But what I'm going to use instead is I have a small roll of craft paper, and I thought it would just look super cute as a background to the farmhouse. So that's what I'm doing here, is just trying to see what exactly I'm going to want on the board. On the box. And then I'm just getting it measured out and going to cut it down to size to get it all. Cutting a straight line, my goodness, you wouldn't think it was so hard. Okie dokie. I have my farmhouse on here. I have it on some paper that I'm going to be putting down with this because I'm going to decoupage it onto there. I will be using carbon paper to get my wording on there, and then I'll also be using a paint pen after that. So that's what we're about to do. I have my brown paper taped down so that it doesn't move, and then I'm also going to be I taped this down so that it doesn't move either. And I'm just going to take my pencil and I just go through and trace everything with the pencil. And I just do the outline and then fill it in with my paint marker later. Okay, so now I've got my farmhouse written on my paper, and I'm going to take this paint pen and put on the black paint. This is just from Hobby Lobby. I don't think I've ever used this brand before, but we're going to try it. I just got it today. So there we go. these in. So, nerve-wracking. Okay. Then we're going to go through and fill all that in after I get this outlined, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so I have everything on here written and colored in with the paint marker. The paint marker did good. It's on paper, so it worked pretty well. I haven't tried it on an actual like piece of wood or anything like that to be able to tell how it does on there. But on the paper, it did great. It did not bleed or anything like that. So I'm pretty excited. So now what I'm gonna do is get out my Mod Podge, and I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer to make sure that it doesn't smudge. I actually might test it out on another piece of paper first, and then we're gonna Mod Podge this on here. I might need to distress it first. I'm going to distress first because I still haven't distressed this at all. It still is how it was after I painted it. So I'm going to go through and distress it real quick. Okay, I took it out to the sander, and now I'm just going to wipe it down real quick, get off all that dust. And the cool thing about the chalk paint is that you can distress even more with wet distressing. So if I have a spot like here that I want a little bit more distressed, then I can just take my rag and wet distress it. So that's cool. Now I'm going to get my mixture here, and I'm just going to go over it really good. This is the antiquing glaze and water mixture. That helps get the look of old, but it's just more diluted. I'll get going on that. Gosh. And I'm going to put stuff up. Okay, here I'm just putting on the antiquing glaze, and that was what was in that little container with the red lid. It is an antiquing glaze from Waverly, and I just put a little bit of that with some water, and I add it to my pieces to make them look aged. It's a little crazy looking. Okay, so now I'm doing the exact same thing to this breadboard. I painted this with chalk paint, distressed it, and now I'm adding the Waverly antiquing glaze on top of it to give it more of an aged, distressed look. That little container right there is what holds the mixture for me. So it's just Waverly antiquing glaze poured in the bottom with probably about 1/4 cup of water added to it, but you just do it based off of what you are wanting, and that's it. Okay, so real quick before I move on to back to that box and putting on the farmhouse, I wanted to go ahead and put the antiquing wax on this breadboard that I had. So this was a breadboard from my very first thrift haul, and it had some crazy prints on it, and I went ahead and cut it down, making it more of a rounded shape instead of squared off, as well as sanding off all the stuff that was on it originally. So now I just want to put on that antiquing wax and give it more of an aged look. And I'm loving how it's turning out. It just looks so much better. You will have to go back and check out that video to see what it looked like before. Anywho, I think it turned out so good. We're going to pray that this decoupaging does not ruin the whole box. So, and this is a matte Mod Podge, because we don't want any gloss going on these pieces. Right, T. Now we're going to get this little farmhouse guy put on here. We're just going to go getting me a little foam brush. This Mod Podge is from Hobby Lobby, but you can get it from wherever. You can even get it on Amazon, which I know ladies that get it in by the gallon because they use so much of it. So eventually I might do that. But right now, this is my first time to use it in a very long time. So we're just going to go with this. All right, first I'm going to put some of this on the bottom, and then I'll set my piece on and we'll Mod Podge that on. Okay, just want to make sure I get it on there good. Okay, so I went ahead and just skipped forward to this part of me fixing my mistake. So when I first started, I should have not caked on, but I should have put on more Mod Podge than I did. So here I am pulling up my craft paper, praying that it does not rip. And it didn't. Thankfully, I saved this project, and I'm so grateful that it actually turned out so stinking cute without anything more messing up. So, one, you have to put on plenty of Mod Podge before you put your paper on. And then once you get your paper to the position you want it, you put on thin layers. So put on a thin layer, let it dry. Put on a thin layer, let it dry, and you do that until you get the look you're wanting. I almost messed it up. Okay. Whew. That was close. Okay. That's just... Okay, we got it. So let's pray that it stays good. We're going to give it a little bit. It's going to be cute. I'm finishing this up real quick before I go off to work. So it turned out so stinking cute. Let me show you. Look at that. It looks so good. And the box looks good. I'm loving it. So I think I want to add one thing to it. So I found these little guys. I should have just found little nails, but oh, lost one. But I don't know. I probably should have. But this is going to work. So I think I have my hot glue gun plugged in, and I have my E6000 glue. And I'm getting out my scissors because I'm going to cut this thing off. My goodness, these things are small and slippery. This is why it might be a struggle. All right, there are these little brad thingies. You can barely see them. But what I'm going to do is glue them onto this at the corners, I think. I don't know. Is that going to be too small? Alrighty. Mornings, I'm telling you. They're really not bad if you wake up on time. And we weren't horribly late this morning waking up, but enough to make the morning, you know. Okay, so now we're going to glue these little guys on. I'm gonna put, hopefully my hot glue gun's ready. Gonna put a little dab of this E6000 on there. These are little to work with, my gosh. Okay. And then, it is hot. That's for sure. Okay. There we go. We'll see. Hopefully this works. Okay, so the E6000 takes a while to set. Not forever, but. So the hot glue helps get it there and stuck, and then gives the E6000 time to set up. All done. That looks so cute. I love it. Love it. So I've got that awesome glare on my face because the sun is coming up over here, but it's okay. We are just about done with this. I just finished the box and it looks so adorable. I love the little details that I put on there. I'm going to stage these pieces. I'm gonna have to finish the breadboard up at a later date, but I'll go ahead and stage it the way I would if I wasn't gonna put anything on it and show y'all what it would look like. And then that is it. All turned out so stinking cute, and I'm glad. The way that box was going, I was getting a little nervous, but it actually ended up turning out really cute, and it was amazing. So I'm stumbling over my words here. If y'all liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments which one of these was your favorite. If you like these videos and you want to see more, then hit that subscribe button because I post at least 1 to 2 videos a week. I'll see y'all on my next video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Now, what does it say? It probably says put super thin layers. I read instructions after the fact. Apply moderate coat to surface and backside of paper or fabric. Apply thin coat. Dry 20 to 30 minutes between coats. Well, we're good now. Always read instructions before getting started. Rule number 1. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Sorry, I was kind of like bleh through it, but you know, sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. Okay, if you like what you've been seeing, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And let me get out of the sun. There's no getting out of it. The sun is coming up, and so it just shines right through my door, which is right by my desk. And it's putting crazy glares everywhere. Anyways, no big deal.